holiday season is officially here and Christmas is around the corner, so it's time to cuddle up with a nice cup of hot cocoa and crochet the day away to bring some festivity to the season. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'll be sharing 50 free Christmas crochet patterns that are perfect to make this season. And I'll be separating these into 6 different categories: general home decor, table specific home decor, ornaments, accessories, pets, and sweaters. And if you want to check out a video that's specific on gifts that are perfect for Christmas, you can check out the video in the card above. Or you can let me know in the comments below if you want to see a specific gift kind of video. Alright, so first I'll share some Christmas home decor patterns with you. The first pattern is the Santa's Gift Basket by Heather Lodinsky at Yarn Inspirations. This pattern is super festive and perfect to put under the tree and display gifts in. It measures 16 3/4 inches or 42 centimeters in diameter by 12 3/4 inches or 32 centimeters tall. I really like the popcorn trim edge and that cute belt detail. This pattern is more so used as a basket cover, and the liner is being used over a laundry basket here, which is really clever, I thought. It is made using the single crochet and double crochet and made in the round. So it's a really beginner friendly project for sure. Continuing on with that Santa theme, this next pattern is perfect for your kitchen. It's the Santa Scrubby Mitt by Michelle Wilcox at Yarn Inspirations. This is great to give as a gift for the festive dinner party thrower, as a stocking stuffer, or it can be great to just decorate your kitchen or clean up those dishes this holiday season. It measures 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters across the face by 8.5 inches or 21 centimeters long. You mainly need to know the double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and single crochet 2 together stitches to create it. And the eyes, nose, and mustache are all just sewn in at the end as applique. Next are the Christmas lights by Wink at A Creative Being. This pattern is great to place on your mantle, decorate your walls with, or even put it on a Christmas tree. This could be a great way to use up all those scrap yarns you have lying around and even stuff those lights with a little bit of yarn. You'll need to know the single crochet 2 together, and chain stitches to create. And it's really easy to customize and play around with the colors or make it longer as you like. This next one is perfect for making a cup of cocoa or eggnog and snuggling on a cold day. It's the Christmas Blanket by Make and Do Crew. The blanket measures 57 inches by 66 inches, and this pattern uses the corner to corner technique, so you do need to know how to read a chart. But as long as you know the half double crochet stitch and you're ready to read a chart, you can totally do it pretty quickly and it's easy to whip up. Here's another Santa themed one. It's the Santa Pillow by Joe to the World. It would be perfect to put in a festive nook, and the cover measures 17 inches by 17 inches. So it'll perfectly fit a 16 by 16 inch insert. You just need to work the front panel, back panel, and then work that belt and sew it on. And there are also details on how to give it a nice button-up backing for a nice cozy touch. And there are also really helpful detailed instructions on how to assemble it all together using the single crochet stitch. Next is a bit of decor for the door. It's the Merry Christmas Wreath by Yarn Inspirations. It's simply made with the Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn and using the single crochet and double crochet. It has a pattern for the Santa, gift box, and stocking. And then you basically glue them all to the wreath, and you can add some pine cones or a bow as you like. And if you want to turn it into a little upcycle project, I suggest checking out my video in the card above and using a cardboard sort of box as the structure for the base of it, like I did in that video, making an autumn wreath. Next is perfect if you like to bring the outside in. It's the Ruffle Fir Trees designed by Catherine Ng via Yarn Inspirations. This pattern includes 3 different sizes of trees: the small tree at 6.5 inches, the medium tree at 9.5 inches, and the large tree at 13.5 inches. You basically create them by working the bands in the round, and then you position them all onto a cone and glue the topper on the top. And they say you can use a styrofoam cone, but I think that using a cardboard cone could be really cool for this. especially because it's hollow on the inside. You could even use it as a bit of a Christmas tree topper. You could maybe even use some scrap yarns up and use different color bits for each band as you like. Or you can play around with the colors and give it kind of a bold color or a white neutral color or a brown jute for a bit of a rustic vibe. This next one is another fun Santa themed one. It's a stuffed Santa and Mrs. Claus dolls. You could make these as a gift for someone who would love these, or I think they could be just fun to put around the tree, display them as you like with some presents for a bit of extra cozy charm. I like how customizable these are. You make the legs, foot, body, face, and arms in the round, then work that head and all the clothes and details. I would say this is definitely a bit more of an intermediate project. You just use the straight satin and whip stitch to sew it all together, and there are some really helpful charts on creating each section of these dolls, which is also really helpful. Next is the reindeer wall plaque by Yarn Inspirations. The reindeer measures 11.5 inches or 29 centimeters from tip of the nose to the neck. The head, neck, antlers, nose, and the ears are worked in continuous rounds in a spiral with the right side facing at all times. And all of the pieces except the chain of hearts are made with 2 strands of yarn held together, and the head and neck are glued to the plaque. And it's good to note that glue with fabric to wood bond is really essential so that it holds up. But I thought this was a really cool idea. You can also count down to Christmas with the Advent Calendar by Yarn Inspirations. It measures 25 inches wide by 37 inches tall and consists of making the background, tabs to hang it by, and there are 12 different ornament patterns for this. All of those little ornaments hang on the tree like the Santa, mittens, and gingerbread man. And it's definitely a bit advanced beginner or intermediate, as you do need to be familiar with crocheting in the round, single crochet, 2 together, half double crochet, and half double crochet 2 together. And all of those numbers are actually embroidered onto the little tabs. So it's really practical and whimsical and has a nice charm to it. The next one also has Christmas tree charm. It's the Christmas tree stocking by Knotted Nest. The stocking measures 18 inches by 7 inches, and I love the bobbled texture Christmas tree on this one, as it really has that rustic charm to it. The stocking is worked in the round from the toe up, and the heel is worked in rounds, and then the leg continues in the rounds as well. And the cuff is worked separately in rows, and then it's attached to the top of the leg. This one has a YouTube tutorial as well, which is helpful. And this pattern, believe it or not, works up pretty quickly in about 2.5 to 3 hours to create. Next is the Christmas classic. It's the classic stocking by Crochet 365 and Knit 2. This pattern measures approximately 17 inches tall from the top of the cuff to the bottom of the toe and 6 inches across when the holiday stocking is laid flat. And when you think about classic Christmas stocking, I feel like you really envision something like this piece. It's really great for giving your home that classic charm. The stocking starts with red yarn at the top down to the heel. Then the heel flap is made on half of the stitches, and you turn the heel and start working on all of the stitches again. Once the stocking is made, you crochet a hanger and a first stocking and then the cuff. Then sew them both together to the stocking. Because the heel is a bit tricky, this is definitely a bit more of an advanced pattern, but there's some really helpful charts on working it as well. Here's another great Christmas stocking by Hooked on Homemade Happiness. This is a great chunky textural stocking and measures 20 inches by 7 inches. It's made mainly in the round, and first you make the toe, then the cuff and heel. It's made with the single crochet 2 together, and bobble stitches, and because it's made with bulky weight yarn, it works up pretty quickly. This next one also has a classic charm. It's the Farmhouse Christmas Tree Skirt by Cozy Nooks Designs. This tree skirt is crocheted without a seam, so you will be turning your work at the end of each row. The beginning chains allow for the tree stand hole, and the buttons are then added on at the end once finished crocheting. The buttonholes are the spaces between the double crochets to customize the button placements, and it has a YouTube tutorial, and the finished skirt measures 42 inches. It's more of an experienced beginner design because you need to be comfortable crocheting with a large hook and holding 2 strands together. But because of this, it also works up fairly quickly. This next one is a bit more of a textural Christmas tree skirt by Rich Textured Crochet. It measures 36 inches in diameter with a 6-inch diameter opening for the tree stand. You simply turn the end of each row and the skirt can be easily customized to be bigger or smaller as well. It also has a YouTube tutorial which is helpful too. Or you could make this nativity set by Whistle and Ivy. I thought this one is so perfect to display on a mantle and it's so detailed. The free patterns included are for Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, and the manger, but they also have the whole scene in their paid version. This year they added a camel to the scene as well, which I thought was so cute. And each year they add a new character to the scene, so it's a really cool tradition. And now I'll share some Christmas crochet patterns that are perfect for your table. First is the Christmas Truck Runner by Brianna K Designs. This runner measures 48 inches in length by 15 inches width. You do need to be ready to read a color chart and use the single crochet stitch to make it, and it pairs so perfectly with some nice plaid table decor. There's also a full blog post with some tips on how to do the color work and some really helpful tips on how to prevent tangles. You could also make the Fa La 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 Table Runner by Brianna K Designs. This one has a bit more of a rustic charm and measures 57 inches wide by 10.5 inches tall, not including the fringe. I really love the font for this pattern and it does use color work as well. Since there is a wrong side and a right side to the table runner, the designer used a combination of intarsia and tapestry method to carry across the back for the color work. So they say it's best to experiment and actually do what works best for you when creating this pattern. This next one is the Holly Table Runner by Yarn Inspirations. It measures 14 inches by 56.5 inches and you mainly use the single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and treble to create it and work it from the center out to the border edge. Then create the leaves and berries and sew them all to the runner. Next is a very classic Christmas table runner by See Love Share, but the design would also work for some other festive holiday lunches or dinner for sure. It measures 14 inches wide by 80 inches long and the pattern is done in increments of rows, so you can extend it by repeating that pattern. They also have some helpful detailed pictures on their blog post as well. This next one is also really lovely and a classy table decor piece. It's the Belle placemat by Beautiful Crochet Stuff. It measures 40 centimeters or 15.5 inches in diameter. You create it by making those 12 bells and then connecting them and working the rest in the round from the outside in. And there's also a really helpful video tutorial for this one. Next is the Santa Cutlery Holder by Joe to the World. You can add some festivity to your cutlery with this piece. It measures 3 inches tall by 2.75 inches wide. So these are really quick and easy to whip up. The pattern is made from the bottom up in the round, and you also need to note the slip stitch and single crochet stitches. So this one's really easy and beginner friendly. These cute cutlery by Katie Jones over at Hobby are also a perfect way to display your utensils. There's also a matching mitten set to go with it, and that can be used to actually tie the napkins with. I love how festive this design is. It measures 21 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And this pattern is in the round and includes photos to help with the heel. It also includes 6 stockings, 3 in each colorway, and this pattern is in US and UK terms, which is pretty helpful for all my UK term friends out there. Here's one more way to display your cutlery. It's the Elf Stockings by Michelle Wilcox at Yarn Inspirations. It measures 7.5 inches high by 4.5 inches wide at the widest part of the foot. And there are 2 different stocking designs, one striped and the other solid. And you mainly need to note the single crochet and single crochet 2 together. Then it explains how to make the bow and simply sew it to the stocking. You could also make this eclectic Christmas coaster collection by Layla. It includes a Santa coat, Christmas pudding, and an elf jacket and a snowman design. The coaster is measured 12 by 12 centimeters and the pattern uses UK terminology. And the advanced stitches here are the mini popcorn, mini bobble, and popcorn stitch, as well as the traverse slip stitch. But there are details on how to work all of these stitches. And to make these, you just make them by the row and then just make that border to finish it off. So the construction is really simple here. Next is the Christmas wreath coaster by 365 Days of Dana. This one is pretty easy to create. It's worked in the round Then to make it, you just work it by the row and then finish it off with that border. So the construction here is pretty straightforward. And this one has a video tutorial on YouTube as well. Now, let me share some Christmas ornament crochet patterns with you. First are the Christmas baubles by Annie Design Crochet. These are a classic Christmas ornament design for sure. It makes an ornament that is 8 inches or 20 centimeters in circumference, and this would be a fun one to use with any sport weight yarn scraps that you have lying around. There's a video tutorial for this one, which is great. And to create it, you just create those 2 halves of the pattern and then sew them together around the bauble. Next is the Santa Cookie by Michelle Wilcox of Yarn Inspirations. First, you need to make the cookie in the round and then work the hat, pom-pom, the mustache, and beard. This one's so straightforward to create. You can even use 2 old buttons for the eyes and even stuff it with some little bits of yarn scraps, making it a pretty neat upcycle project. Next are the Angel Ornaments by Roswitha Mueller. These are another fun one to make with scraps. You just need to know the single crochet, double crochet, and increase stitch. And the head and gown are made in a spiral, and then the wings are made. Then the wings are sewn to the body, so it's really beginner friendly. And the last ornament on this list is the Rustic Tree Ornament by Regina P Designs. I really like that little button detail on this one and how quickly these work up. You just need to know the single crochet, half double crochet, front and back loop only, so it's really beginner friendly. And let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a specific Christmas ornament or Christmas tree decor crochet patterns. I'd love to make a video for this. Now I'll share some Christmas crochet accessory patterns with you. First, we'll keep your feet nice and cozy while opening presents or making some Christmas cake. It's the Cozy Socks by Hooked on Homemade Happiness. These are really beginner friendly and made in continuous rounds. These socks are nice and fitted and only 1 skein for the small and medium and just over 1 skein for the large size. There are 3 different sizes ranging from US size 4 to 12.5. So if this is your first time making a sock, it's a really beginner friendly project. Next are the Santa Slippers by Diving Ducks Crochet. These socks come in 2 different sizes for adults and for kids, and they're made in the round and really cozy because they're made with really super bulky blanket yarn. And it'll also work up pretty quickly because of this. This next one is really cozy. It's the Santa Ear Warmers by Blossom Crochet. This one would work up really quickly in about an hour, and it just uses the US single crochet or UK double crochet since it's in UK standard, and it's really repetitive and pretty beginner friendly to make. It also has a guideline for making 7 different sizes from newborn to adult. Next are the Elf Booties by Nikki Housemate Crafts. They measure 8.5 inches tall by 10 inches in length flat. So it's about a 9.5 US shoe size. So they only come in 1 size, so you'd have to adjust it if you'd like to make it smaller or larger. And it uses the single crochet, double crochet, treble, and berry stitch, and it's pretty beginner friendly to make. This next one is the Tree Hat Scarf by Nikki's Homemade Crafts. I thought this one was really creative. It measures 46 inches long by 10 inches in diameter, so it would fit an average adult sized head. It works up pretty quickly. I like how they added lights to it. It makes it really festive and perfect to wear at a Christmas or ugly sweater party. Next is the Christmas Hat by Joy of Motion Crochet. This one would be a festive one to wear while looking at Christmas lights or outside around the fire pit while making s'mores this season. I love how it includes sizes from kids 12 months to large adult. You need to know the single crochet and front post double crochet and back post double crochet to create it. You do need to read a chart to make it, so if you're an advanced beginner looking to take your skills to the next level, this one could be a good one for sure. Or you could make the Christmas tote bags by Repeat Crafter Me. These would be fun to give away at a party. They measure 11 inches wide by 12 inches tall and are definitely beginner friendly. You just mainly need to know how to chain and work a single crochet. It's worked in the round, and there's a YouTube tutorial video for this one. Or you can add some whimsical charm to a Christmas themed ensemble with this Jingle Bells elf scarf by The Crafter Life. To create it, you need to make the chevron body first, then the booties, then simply cut the yarn after each color change and weave in the ends as you work. The finished scarf is 3.5 inches wide by 41 inches long, but you can also add or delete stripes to adjust the length. I just love how whimsical this design is and those little bells on it. Next is the gift pouch by VV Crochet. This one would be perfect to stuff some little candies with, put it in as a stocking stuffer. This one is worked flat as a circle, and then you build up the sides all around and add a little strap with the pom-poms and bows or any accents you want to add to it. And this one has a YouTube tutorial for all of you who like visual tutorials out there. Next is the Gnome Keychain by Passionate Crafter. This is an amigurumi style and advanced beginner. First you create the body, then the gnome, hat, hands, nose, beard, and belt. And this one has some helpful pictures for it too. This first one is the Dandy Dog Sweater by Hard Hook Home. It's actually a holiday adaptation of a more basic crochet sweater. There are 3 different sizes, which is convenient, and you need to know the front and back post stitches to create a collar, and the body uses the thicket, or also known as the Suzette stitch, to create it. There's also a full video on that original pattern, as well as detailed instructions on how to make a Santa, snowman, and striped design pattern. Next is a hat by Adorable Crochet. I think this one is really festive and will turn your pup into a gnome. It's really easy to create and just uses the single crochet and invisible decrease to create. The little space for the ears is worked in the round, and it shows you how to add the tassels. This one's great for a smaller pup or a cat, but you'd have to adapt it a bit for a larger dog for sure. This next one is the Christmas Sweater by Vibes with Danny. To create it, you first make the cuff flap, then connect it up and work the rest of the sweater in the round. This is for a smaller dog or cat and is so festive. It's really beginner friendly and also has a YouTube tutorial. This next one is really fun. It's a reindeer cat hat by Catventurous Crochet. This one's pretty beginner friendly, and first you just need to create that hat, then the antlers and ears and the ties. You just need to know basic stitches to create it, so it's pretty simple, and it also has a YouTube tutorial as well. Lastly, for pets, you could give your cat a classic look this Christmas with the Santa cat hat by Nikki's Homemade Crafts. It fits an adult cat with a 4.5 inch in diameter and 7 inch in height with the pom-pom. It's really beginner friendly, and you just need to know basic stitches to make it. Now I'll share some Christmas sweater patterns. First is this gorgeous landscape sweater by Julia and Trazi at Hobby. I love the color work and the scenery of the house and landscape with the mountains and the snowman on this one. It's worked in the round with the single crochet, and the ribbing is slip stitch in the back loop only. It's constructed simply from the top down, and it includes 4 different sizes from small to extra large. Next is the Gingerbread Man Sweater by Repeat Crafter Me. This one's so fun and whimsical. It's worked from the top down and is made with the single crochet and double crochet stitches. And then the ribbing is on the sleeve, cuffs, neckline, and bottom, and they're worked as single crochet in the back loop only. There are 4 sizes from extra small to extra large, and this one works up surprisingly quickly if you want a quicker pattern. Next is the Christmas Light Sweater by Hobby. This one's a bit more of an intermediate pattern with the front post, back post double crochet, and bobble stitches as the more fancy stitches with this one. And this one's pretty size inclusive because it has extra small to 5XL for adults, as well as for ages 1 through 10 for kids. So you can make a matching sweater for the whole family, perfect for one of those Christmas photos. Next is the Johanna Sweater by Johanna Buscard at Hobby. This piece uses the corner to corner technique to create it, and it has size small to large. There's a helpful guide on how to do that corner to corner stitch technique. And this one would be fun to customize with some jingle bells or pom-poms for sure. And lastly is the Alpaca Christmas Sweater by Joy of Motion Crochet. This one also has color work, so there's a diagram for this, and you need to know how to do the tapestry crochet stitches, which there is a full tutorial on how to do it. And this one has sizes extra small to 5XL. Well, what did you think of my list of 50 Christmas crochet patterns? If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like, and also subscribe and join our community here of conscious crocheters, conscious crafters. I share videos every week on crochet patterns as well as some vlogs. I do all kinds of fiber art on this channel that I like to share with you all. So please subscribe and join our community here. And also let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see any other specific crochet pattern videos from me. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.